Wow, Jesse Johnson, it is such an honor to have you in front of
on the dust off of stuff. Jesus Christ.
We brought you all the way back to 1984, Ice Cream Castles, Jungle Love.
Wow.
Was that actually recorded in 84 or did it happen earlier than that?
I think we might have recorded it in when did Purple Rain come out?
He was shooting it in 83, so 83, 84.
Yeah, so we recorded it. We recorded it a while back, but it didn't have Morris's vocal on it. We did that after the movie, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the recording of this song? Like, how did the session go? Like, what was?
For me, it was like what is it called? Getting your ticket pulled, where we were leaving acting class. We were leaving acting class. I think if you go to my Facebook page, that the demo that I did, it's just me on it, but it's up there. But we were leaving acting class, and I said I had been giving Prince songs, and he would, he'd call Morris, and he'd go, "You got to hear this." And they'd be Morris always, when Morris laughs, she gets tears kind of. They would be crying and laughing at the stuff I was giving them, but I was like, wasn't deterred. I was like, oh, okay. Because then, I figured, definitely without a doubt, Prince knew what he was doing. So I kept coming back. And then when I came back with that, we were leaving acting class, and I said, "Can I play you something?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's sit in your car. Let's listen to it in your car." Because my car sounded the best, but I didn't have air conditioning. They had nicer cars, but my car had a trunk and it bumped. So he got in the driver's seat. I got in the passenger seat, and he put it in and he played it. And he goes, "Now that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
And he said, "Let's cut it tonight. Let's cut it tonight." And I was like, "Oh no," because I'm thinking every time I gave him a song, I thought he's just gonna go, "Cool, I'm gonna go do it." Mm-hmm. That's what I thought he did. But with me every time, he's like, "Yeah, let's go do this." And I'm like, thinking I'm gonna be there watching. And it was like Morris was standing there, and I was against the wall, and we had a OB8. And he split the OV8, and I'm playing the bass, but I'm against the wall. And so he said, "You're going to play I want you to play the bass." And I was like super, super nervous because he's like a, elite keyboardist. So
how old would you have been at this time?
Too young and stupid to understand the history we were making, that's for sure. But I had never been 20s? In a studio. Yeah, but I had never been in a studio either. So it was all and Morris was standing there just watching and just standing there, and I'm this way, and the wall is right here, my shoulders are, and I'm at the end going bum, 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 bum. He split the OB8, and he's doing the horns, da, 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 bum, 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 bam, da. And so we cut it like that, and then that part that goes da, da, da wasn't really in the demo like that, and he goes, "Do this," and I didn't hear him, and I'm playing something else, so he stops the tape and rolls in, we punch in. It was like we cut it like that. Playing it at the same time. Was really quite nervous, and it actually ended up being the biggest charting song for the time. Yeah, it's the biggest charting song of the history of the time.
And so you were the one that brought that to Prince.
Yeah, that was just him and I on that song.
And how did you had the vocals already been written, or was it kind of like
he wrote the vocals, I did the music.
Okay.
I did the music because he was just playing what was on the demo. He really dug it.
And then Morris was brought in after the fact to then record the vocals after everything else was done.
We did it after. We did it way after the movie was in the can. The movie wasn't out, but it was in the can. Because the one in the movie is a live version. Mm-hmm. It's like we didn't really know how the song was going, but in the movie it's a live version of everything.
Wow! And did I hear you say they were putting you in acting classes for the purposes of Purple Rain?
Yeah, you had to. We were in. I was in ballet for a year, acting for like, I think 6 months. And I didn't understand the ballet thing, but when they broke it down, it was a memory thing. Because when you go to ballet, they go 1 and 2, and then you'll do a whole thing, but as you're doing it, it's a different part. And they go, "Okay, the next part we're going to add is this, that. And you're like, "Why am I in ballet?" But, we were there because we had to be there. But we were all in ballet doing it. And what it was for is to build your memory. So at the end of the class, he would go, "Okay, now we're going to go from the top." And you're like, "Oh, I forgot." So you had to do all those parts connected, and that's what it was, a memory thing.
Wow. Well, I think it's incredible. I had actually no idea that you were the one that brought that to Prince, and that the fact that Morris recorded his vocal, like totally after the
Way
fact.
later.
Nobody knows
Yeah.
this, you know?
Yeah, Prince did he sung the demo. I mean, not the demo, but he demoed the voice, the vocals, and then Morris had to learn it and then cut it.
And then who's doing like all the OEOEOs?
Prince, Morris, and myself.
Awesome.
Jungle Love, I'm playing Prince's guitar, that Telly.
Okay, the Mad Cat?
Yeah.
And then
But it was
what
called, it had another name on it. It was like the German.
Honer.
Yes, that's what I'm playing. Because he played way bigger strings at that time than I did. And I wasn't about to try to solo on that thing, but that's what I'm playing on Jungle Love.
And then do you know what amp he was using for that? Or what
It was direct.
It was
direct, but we were running through an API.
Okay.
Into the console was a
memory room?
Yeah.
Video?
No. Which console did you buy from me?
Soundcraft.
But it was a
TS24.
It was the other console. I ended up buying it. It was a B. It was called a B3. But God, I can't remember the name. But I ended up buying that console after when you got ready to leave for the tour. But no, that was a direct. But we always ran through APIs.
Wow.
Because Prince actually had a machine that was it was 16 track, but it had it was a 2-inch. It was weird. It was a 16 track machine, but it had a 2-inch head on it.
Wow.
So he would go to that's why we would go to Sunset Sound and do the other 8 tracks.
Wow.
Because it was like, yeah, I think that's what blew my mind is like, when I met Prince, I didn't know who he was or anything like that. That's why we kind of had a strange relationship because I was like, God, I mean, I didn't really know who he was. And so when I went but I knew as I got to know him, Morris was saying, he does, he's really blah, blah, blah. He's big, this, that, another. But when I went to his house and saw what he was recording on, I was floored. Because, when you're a kid, you think recording studios are like millions of dollars and they're big. His studio it was a complete joke. It was like he had an AMIC board that was about this, not even a recording, but I think it was broadcasting. And it was about this, literally this wide. And when he had those Uri speakers with the light bulbs in them, it was just real not good. And that's what blew my mind is that I realized it's not the gear, it's knowing what you're doing. And he really knew what he was doing because it wasn't the gear.
Wow.
And he was cutting amazing stuff on equipment that wasn't that great. But he had a great machine. He always had an Ampex machine, and they sounded phenomenal.